Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Hilltop Pillbox here in Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. And yeah, the world has changed. And we're going to show you how the world has changed. Not much has changed in Africa, but a lot has changed here in North America. As you can see, I should probably turn that light on, probably kill some shadow. As you can see, the Germans are well and truly ensconced in North America. Obviously, not here for a long time. They're here for a good time, though. And there's nothing left to stop them. So, hopefully, on America's turn, they can bring up some tanks and a plane and plane or two and take care of that nonsense. The Germans came up here with their whole fleet. The Italians came up, got some zones here for them to land in. As you can see, Nova Scotia and Labrador and Newfoundland. So, what that means is that, well, America's at war, but not because of this. We are going to write that into the rules now, though, because we know that if Japan ends its turn on an American shore or lands in Canada, that America's at war. And that it wasn't written in this way because it just never happened. So Captain G, who's playing a fantastic game, decided to head to war this way. Okay, so that's what's going on the East Coast. Over here on the Eastern Front, the Germans are not doing an awful lot that we're pretty much used to by turn 5 because they have been busy elsewhere. Now, over here, you see you've got some attacks and whatnot going on, and I might have some more. We'll see. This is just an intro video, so I won't be rolling any dice here. Yeah, Japanese using their sneak attack came in, took San Fran, took the western U.S., could have taken Southwest, but he chose to not take it this turn because obviously he can just walk in next turn. Possibly. I think that Triple Crown's probably going to rail some stuff in there, though. But you can see they went into British Columbia and everything, right? Alaska. Now, that means that there's less material over here for them to annoy the rest of the world with. So there is a lot of pressure on them right now here in China, but he definitely has the units to parry that thrust, in my mind, anyway. He has backed out of Siam with the pressure I'm putting on here with FEC, and he brought everybody down to Singapore, and that's how that's looking there. So just a crazy amount of stuff going on here. The Americans are hurting for money. They get 65, that's it, which is what Germany gets before their bonuses. I think Germany got like 84 or something this last turn. And the Japanese have done quite well. They're at 58 on the chart. But the Russians are also doing pretty well. They're at 48. That's their wartime income. Britain's at 42. Italy's at 32, which isn't too bad. Typically, they're a little bit higher, but they've been obviously out here doing things, and they picked up a buck up in Newfoundland, or Labrador. And FEC, though, is doing quite well. They're at 29 on the board, and actually they should be, yeah, because they started at 23. They've captured a couple things here and there, so they're at 29. Actually, I think they should be at 30. So I'll just have to check, or 31. I'm going to have to check my board. Maybe I've shorted myself on that. And Anzac is at 21 on the board. So there's lots of money for these nations down here. No pressure on them right now. But again, this is the Japanese fleet that's sitting off the coast of California that does have a port. So within like 3 turns, they could be over here causing tons of grief, which I'm sure they're going to be. Captain G is not going to allow us to have these unfettered turns. He is going to come at us, and that'll be fun. So this is a great game, folks. I've never seen anything like it in 1939, and and the reason it's great is because when Captain G or Triple Crown or myself or any of our other people who play Hambone, whenever we do something that's not the status quo, right? Where Germany goes for Moscow and the British and the Americans tool up in the Atlantic to do some landings and all. Yeah, if we're not doing that, um, then holes in the rules, not even holes, I should say, but omissions in the rules, where, oh, we never thought that could actually happen. Well, it can happen. So, now there's one part of the map here, and I've just got to say this as a Canadian, one part of the map here that kind of annoys me is that Nova Scotia and Quebec are not attached. And they are. They're definitely attached. I mean, I've driven through there many times. But that makes Nova Scotia an island. So it's very tough to defend as Canada because you don't have anything there. You typically lose your transport. So it's difficult to get over there and defend and whatnot. Having said that, it's also very difficult to come over here and take it. But once you do, you know it's nigh impossible for the Allies to get you out of there. So we're hoping to sink these 2 Italian transports today. I still got a few little things to talk about with Triple Crown and make sure I've got everything going. I just thought I'd take this time to do this. So we're hoping to sink a couple of transports here. We'll be building a couple units in Ottawa. And yeah, we're just hoping that things will go well for us. We need a win here. Captain G, for the first time, had a couple of minor, I'll say setbacks, minor reverses on his attacks. The one in southwest United States down there, as I was mentioning. And then he did an attack in a Molotovsk and failed there. He didn't really, it's not like it's a huge failure, but it allowed Triple Crown to go back into Karelia and take that back. So, yeah, but you can see the Germans have a grand total of 3 plus 1, so 4 territories. 5 territories, including Bessarabia. They have 5 territories in the Soviet Union. On the 5th turn, so that's pretty low. But he's playing pretty cautiously here too, right? You can see that he's got a lot of stuff here. So in a couple of turns, he could really threaten Moscow proper. All right. Well, we are going to pause it here. I'm going to make sure I've got all my stuff done. Hey, I'll even do my builds now because I'm pretty sure these builds are going to stay. So the UK is going to build a tank in Canada, try to help them out. We're also building 2 tanks and 1 Churchill. I know it's not a Churchill sculpt, sue me. In Cairo, 1 man in Iran, and a military base to be placed in a secret location. I'll tell you later. And then we have a tactical being built in Calcutta. So again, the UK is spreading its money all over the place. So that is 50. I believe we have $55 to spend, and that is the entire 55. So we have 18, 21, 25, 31, 42, and 50. Oh, 54? Is it 54? Maybe I saved a buck. I'll do the math later. Canada, which lost its factory, can only build 1. And the Colonial factory is going to build a Spitfire for 12, saving 1. South Africa is spending all 7 on a transport. FEC, 2 mans and 3 tacticals. Okay, so they're going into Calcutta. These are going into the military bases. And Anzac has got some good scratch here. They've got $26, and they're spending $24 on a cruiser, a destroyer, and a submarine. Also, I'm going to be moving these possibly. Right now, it's if you know BBR, you can move factories and still build in them. So when we wrote that you can move military bases, we had that feeling in it. So we didn't actually write that you can't build in them when you move them. And I think it might be only, I'm not going to say. So we're going to be looking into that. So if I can move them, these will move 1 space each, and I'll build those 2 men in those spaces. Okay? And you can see some of the attacks going on here. He's backed off into Singapore, so that's going to hopefully be a win. And that'll hopefully be a win. We got a walk-on here. We've got a walk-on here for the Anzac Infantry. We've got a blitz through with the tank Cyrenaica. We're still convoying the Italians here, which is always fun. And then, like I mentioned, we're going to go after those two transports. And the German fleet might not have all that stuff in it. I think I forgot to actually remove units when I watched the video. So that's where we are. And not a lot of shooting, a lot of repositioning. We'll be sending a boy up to Russia to help them out a little bit. Yeah, that's pretty much where we are. So stay tuned. I'll get back in just a moment. Well, for you, it'll be a split second. Might be a little time for me. And we'll make sure that we're not going off the rails here with our plans. All right, so Captain G got back to me on a couple of things I needed to know, so we're gonna go forward here. I do have to get going. Actually going off to play a game of Axis and Allies, likely anniversary. We were gonna do G40 today with some former students, and that's gonna be a lot of fun. But both my wife and I forgot that I bought tickets for us for the symphony tonight, and so I don't have as much time as I thought I did, so we might ratchet it back and do anniversary. Got a couple of new players too, because they've never played, and it might be better for them to start with something a little less intense than G40. So we're gonna head off to do that in just a little bit here. So I need to get this shot fairly quickly, so Triple Crown can do his turns with the KMT USA. So what we got going on here is I've got a boy in Hong Kong, and I've offered to take these. I've offered this boy to take that. I have no idea what he's going to say. If he says nothing, they'll just hold. Like if he says, no, don't bother, he'll hold, and he's going to non-com. Hopefully we win this battle into Siam. You can see I've chipped everything out, made it all pretty now. So that's how that's going to go. He'll non-com into Siam if he's not needed in Kwang Si. There you have it. All right. But we only have 3 shooting matches, and I've already got the dice ready to go. Look at me all prepared. Look at that. Look at that. You impressed? Okay. So here we go. The mech here is going to come down through into Saigon with another mech and an artillery, and also Mr. Fighter. 1, 2. So he's got 2 left on his fuel gauge. And everybody here's coming in. So we've got, 10 infantry? 9 infantry. 9 infantry, 3 regular tanks, a Churchill, and an artillery. And we're probably going to non-com him in after the fact. The tactical, he is just going to remain there for now. Over here, we're going to load up everybody from the Carolines, and they're going to come over, and it's a walk-on into Palau. Okay? And we're scorching all this stuff. I think I might have mentioned that on the previous video, but then I looked and I saw them covered, and I thought, did I actually mention that? It's early. So the rest of that is non-com. I've talked about these combats already. I've already moved Buddy in here. Sending messages to Triple Crown. I'm trying to do things, and then sometimes I forget to put them back. My apologies. Over here, Captain G got back and said the Italian sub here is going to submerge, so the convoy is annulled. So I'm just getting convoyed for 2 at this time. I'm sure that'll go up. And the little torpedo boat came over here, the Flower class corvette. He's coming to hit that, and he's escorted with the fighters. So he did not scramble to that noise. And then the 2 bombers are coming up here, medium bombers coming to attack that. No scramble because of no airbase. All right, so where should we start? Well, let's start over here. We'll start with our bombers. So we've got the 4 at 4 and his 1 at 1. Okay, well, we got 1 hit. All right, so that is a success. And then we have the one with the little Flower class corvette shooting at a 2. And all the other stuff is the pinks at 7, the whites at 6, and his blue is 1. wow, that was close. So I got 2 hits, but wow. All right, so that one's done. And then here in Saigon. Oh, I forgot to get dice for that. Anyway. Oh, that's because there was too many. All right, so Saigon here. So we've got 2 at 3 with the mech and the artillery. 1 at 2 with just the mech. The fighter's at 6, and he's defending with the green dice at a 4. Okay, so I got 1 hit with my 2 and with my 3, but he also got a hit. So we will lose a mech from there. And Saigon heads over to the dark side or the light side or the... There you go. All right, so now we've got this attack here with scads of units. So I'm just going to start with the 4 tanks. They all shoot at 6. So we'll start with the 4 tanks coming in, the Churchill and the 3 regular tanks. Okay, well, this isn't a good start. Okay, good. So we did get him. And he defends at a 4. And that's a miss. Okay. So Siam Falls, he did, of course, scorched earth the air base before he left on his way out the door to Singapore. So that's gone. And that's all out of there. So Vichy loses that territory. All right, so that is that. That's pretty much everything. So now, again, just going to find out from Triple Crown at some point what he wants me to do with that. So now we have non-com moves. All right, non-com moves. So the fighter has 2 left. He will go back to Burma. 3 men will join him. Buddy will walk. Buddy will walk. Tank will drive. Tank will drive. The plane, we're going to put him in Burma as well. Now, we also have a rule that these things can move. I think I mentioned that. So we're going to move these guys, and we're going to build in those guys, because in BBR you can still build a unit in things that you move. So we're going to move those. I am scorched earthing the Madras military base at this time. That is gone. And all right, that is it for that. Okay, some non-combat here. These 2 guys are going to come on this transport and go 1, 2 down here to Java. Drop off a man and an artillery in Java. It's gone. These 3 destroyers, they're going to go 1, 2 down to Dutch New Guinea by that nice port. And have the fighter is going to go 1, 2, 3. Going 4 really doesn't help us because we do have the... So I'm going to leave him at the air base. Give him a little extra legs in any direction. I was going to non-combat these guys up, but I think I'm just going to leave them here. I'm going to cancel that non-combat move. All right. Now that is everything there. Anzac, we're going to pick up our Force Z guy and 1 regular infantry. Go 1, 2, 3 and come up to Dutch New Guinea. So that's 1 infantry and 1 Force Z that we built last turn. And the cruiser will join. The destroyer will go as far as he can. So up to Northern Australia. There's that. All right. The tactical. 1, 2, 3, 4. He is going to land in Burma. So that's the tactical from Java. It's going to land in Burma. All right, over to this side of the board. Our man in Tehran is now in Baku. These 2 guys are going to walk into Iraq. The tank is going to come down to Cairo. These 3 fighters are all going to go into Alexandria. There we go. You know what? This tank is actually going to hop on a transport and end up in Alexandria. That's better. I got 4 transports in there. All right. I think that's everything for that. All right. The mech and the artillery from Uganda will go one. Want to go to Upper Egypt? No, we're going to go to Lower Egypt with those guys. Okay. And this tank zipped in and out, so we'll just do that. We'll do that. Over here, these fighters, they all had a range of 5. So they went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can all land in New England. Thanks, America. We appreciate your assistance in these dark times of fascist aggression. There we go. These guys are gone. The bombers fly back to London, back to medieval England. So there's still one fighter left in London, in case anybody was curious about that. Disruption marker goes away. There's a Japanese sub lurking off the coast here. Came and sank my Canadian transport. And for all the stuff his transports have sunk this game, you'd think I'd get a little bit of love from the dice, but I didn't. That would have been nice. We've got a medium bomber. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll plant him right in Alexandria as well. Whew. All right. Get that non-com out of there. And for my part, I believe that is everything. I don't see any more. All right. So, in essence, what happened this turn was FEC went up 6. And Japan went down 6. Anzac went up 1. And Japan went down 1 more. So that's 7. Don't worry, they made lots of money last turn. Britain went up 1. Italy goes down 1. And that is it for the money. So I'm going to pause it here and I'll talk about what money everybody has at the end of the round. Oh, I should put my builds on. So this is going in Canada. Okay. So Canada builds in its colonial factory and Britain builds in its colonial factory. So hopefully America can handle the Germans there. And we have a South African medium bomber being built by the wonderful people who brought you all the wonderful things. There you go. Transport goes there for South Africa. There's a tactical going in for the FEC. There's a man going in Tehran. And 2 tanks and 1 Churchill going into Cairo. All right. Military base, Alexandria. There we go. For FEC, we have got 1, 2, 3 tactical bombers going in. And then the 2 mans, 1 going into there, 1 going into there. Again, the rules don't state you can't build in them. So we're going to build, again, based on the thing of BBR. You can move them, but you have reduced capacity, but we can't reduce less than 1. So there you go. If we come back and find out that we need to tweak that, we certainly will. And then the destroyer, cruiser, and submarine for Anzac are all going into Sydney. And that is that. Okay, so we're going to check out the money situation and get right back to you. Okay, so here we are. These are the facts of the case. I teach law, so that's what you have to start with. All right, so you can see Canada's down to 6 because we lost BC worth 1 and Quebec worth 3. But we also get our bonuses for the US being at war. We get +3 and we get +2 for the boats. So we go up to 11. So we'll look over here and we'll unzoom because that's horrible on the eyes. All right, so 11. Yes, 11. I have 12 then because I saved 1. So 12 for Canada. South Africa is a base of 6, gets 1 for the bonus. So the 7 they spent goes back. They have 8 to spend next turn. FEC has 35. and they get 5 bonus, and they save nothing, so they have 40. So 10, 20, 30, 5, 40. So $40 for FEC next turn. Anzakians. The Anzakians save 2. They're at 22, thanks to the taking of Palau. They're at 22, and they have 5 in bonus, so that's 27. They save 2. They have 29 to spend next turn. Now the UK has lost some money. They lost Labrador worth 1. That's really sad. So they are down. They have 43 on the chart, and they get their 5 bonuses, or actually they get 13 bonuses, because the bonuses for the British are they get $5 if there are 8 transports in play, and there's definitely 8 transports in play. They get +3 if they have all of their continental African territories, which they do. And then they get +5 if they and the Allies share these 4 territories, all of Iran and Iraq, which they do. So they get 13. So that puts them up to 56. But then this pesky sub down here is taking 2. Okay, he's made his money this game. So that's 54 that they should get. So I actually forgot to bring in some more money here. So we'll make sure we got 54 here. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, and then 4. That's 1, 2, 3. One more. And 54. So 54 for UK Europe next turn. All right. Well, thanks so much for watching, folks. This is a very exciting game. We have no idea what's going to happen. This is uncharted waters. 100% uncharted waters. We have no idea where this is going to go. Captain G is a formidable opponent. He and Eggman. And she's tough playing all the Axis on your own. She's tough. I'm here to tell you. And I know from experience, as many of you do, that playing this game as one side, either the Allies or the Axis, is it's a tough challenge. It's a spicy meatball. And Captain G is doing a heck of a job, getting us running around in circles and trying to figure out what to do. So hopefully we are able to stem the tide of this Japanese aggression, and hopefully we're able to hold on to Moscow for a little while longer. But things are looking good for the Axis at this point, and we'll see if America can take care of this German fleet and take care of the German occupation force. Can't do anything about the aircraft, unfortunately. They'll all be back in Europe momentarily, and that's more's the pity for that. All right, thanks for watching, folks. And as we always say here, hug your loved ones, thank your friends for playing, and may those dice be with you.